Since 1921, Volunteers of America, Greater Baton Rouge, has been serving homeless families as part of our ministry of service. Today, our supportive housing programs continue to help families without shelter due to long-term homelessness or personal crisis. A family from California found themselves in a time of need. Jason's wife suddenly abandoned him and their young daughters, Jessie, Jordan, and Jaden. With no place to go, Jason came to the frightening realization that he would have to raise his daughters alone.
I had no plan at all. I was mostly just scared to death. I didn't know what I was going to do, and I didn't want to lose them. And I was really scared that that was going to happen.
Even though Jason was devastated, his number one priority as a father became keeping the family together.
It was the most important thing ever in my entire life. It still is the most important thing in my life, to keep us together.
A good friend from Louisiana learned of Jason's situation and offered him the chance to move into his family's home.
I packed up a lot of the important stuff, not like the stuff that I really wanted, but like important stuff that we needed.
Living with other people, you know, with my 3 kids and me, that's a lot of people in somebody's small 2-bedroom house.
Things had finally turned around for Jason and his girls, but they experienced another loss when their family friend passed away. Now they faced homelessness in a new city where they knew very few people. While looking for help, Jason was directed to Volunteers of America.
I received a referral about a single father with 3 young girls that were about to be placed on the streets. After speaking with Jason, I realized that he qualified for our housing services, so I knew that I had to find a place for him and his girls to live.
I wasn't familiar with the area, so Kanisha had came down and actually found this place for us.
Miss Kanisha is nice, and she helped us get this place because I don't know why she helped us get it, but she gave us towels and silverware and cups and plates. I got a home instead of sharing one.
Even through this uncertain time, Jason kept a steady job and his work ethic remained strong. Come rain or shine, he rides a bicycle to work each day to provide for his girls.
I put a plastic bag on if it's raining, or if the weather's really bad, I put a lot of coats on, or a plastic bag, or anything to stay dry.
Living in an area with no public transportation and not having a family car complicates Jason's ability to provide for the girls and limits where they can go together.
Without a car, we have trouble going grocery shopping. We have trouble paying some of the bills. If I need something for the kids, I can't really get it. I have to ride my bike wherever I go. It's been really difficult.
I would go to places I always wanted to go to, like the library, to get some books.
Volunteers of America's presence in their lives is a key part of helping them get to where they are now.
She's always calling, checking on me, making sure everything's all right. She's always concerned if I have a problem to let her know. She's just really been there.
Having a home has given the family some stability, but Jason still struggles with the unique challenges of being a single dad.
Well, the most important thing is to keep us together. That's the most important thing. And then second is to take care of them, make sure that they're getting good grades in school, make sure they're healthy. Those are the most important things to me. Without Volunteers of America, they most certainly would have been in foster care. And I'm not sure how I would have been able to handle that.
I just comfort him and make him feel that he knows that he's not alone and that we'll get through this problem together.
While they have a long way to go, Jason and the girls are determined to succeed and have bright hopes for the future.
They want me to be a manager So I think I'm really going to work hard to try to make that happen. I really want to get them in college. I didn't get a chance to go, so I would really be pleased if that happened.
In South Louisiana, there are thousands of families like Jason's who are struggling to find their way. Volunteers of America, Greater Baton Rouge, does more than just supply basic needs. We strengthen families by providing them with the tools they need to rebuild their lives.
Volunteers of America saved my life, kept my family together? Yeah, absolutely.
For those of you who joined us at Celebration for Change last year, you probably remember our special presentation. Through the generosity of a donor, we were able to provide this family with a car, solving their urgent need for transportation. While we celebrated together, none of us could have ever imagined what would happen to Jaden, their youngest daughter, only a few weeks later.
When Jaden began having severe headaches and a fever that wouldn't go away, Jason, Kenesha, and her supervisor, Ebenezer, began to worry.
Kenesha expressed to Jason her concerns that she had had a fever for so long and that she should see the doctor. Jason took her to the emergency room, and at that time, they diagnosed her with 2 types of leukemia. Jason and Jaden were immediately transported to Memphis.
When Jaden got sick, I was afraid of a lot of different things, but what I was most afraid of is knowing that she could get worse than what she already is.
I have to say that this was the scariest time of my life because Jaden was in the hospital in Tennessee, in a place that we'd never been before, knowing if she was going to pass away on that.
We had to leave within a day, and it was just by luck that I got the chance to say goodbye to my other daughters.
Immediately, Kenesha and I sat the girls down to talk to them to see if they understood everything their sister was going through. Jessie said she understood a little bit, and at that time, I knew I couldn't turn my back on those girls.
It made me feel better to know that Volunteers of America and Kenesha and Ebenezer were keeping an eye on my other girls. Actually, that's what helped me get through being up there, knowing that they were safe. They even went to the school on their behalf a couple of times, made sure they had clothes, they had their school uniforms, that they just did everything. I mean, they were like mothers to them.
With the doctors not knowing how long Jaden's treatment would take, the staff tackled the problem of reuniting the family.
Kenesha called the Memphis office, not knowing who to ask for, just kind of took a stab in the dark, and an angel answered the phone, and her name is Pat.
Even though Pat told Ebenezer that their affiliate did not have a housing program in Memphis, her staff did not hesitate to wrap supportive services around Jason and Jaden.
I immediately kicked in my social worker hat, and my whole office decided that we were going to support them because they're part of our Volunteers of America family.
Pat assured us that she would do everything in her power to make sure Jason and Jaden were okay. At the time, we didn't know what that meant. We just assumed she would go by the hospital to visit a couple of times, but it went far beyond that.
It was unusual for 2 affiliates to work together so closely to support one family living apart. But from the first time Pat met Jason and Jaden, she lived out Volunteers of America's ministry of service.
He was very overwhelmed. I could feel that in his heart. And I just kept saying to him, this is what we do. This is who we are. This is Volunteers of America. It's okay.
Pat and her staff did what they could to meet Jason's basic needs, threw Jaden a birthday party, and offered prayers and emotional support. Pat sent daily emails and photos to keep everyone in Baton Rouge connected.
Really, the main thing was taking us out to get away from the hospital and forget about her being sick.
I couldn't believe someone, a perfect stranger, had just opened her heart the way she did. And she simply said, my family in Baton Rouge needs me, and I'm going wherever the need is. And she did, and I am forever grateful to her and her staff for everything they did.
After 2 months in Memphis, Jaden got the good news that she could complete her treatment in Baton Rouge. Volunteers of America moved the family to an apartment right down the street from the hospital. Pat came to Baton Rouge to visit just days after hearing the news that Jaden's cancer was finally in remission.
Even though the cancer is in remission, she's still very sick. She will be taking chemotherapy probably for the next 1.5 years to make sure that even though it's in remission now, that it stays there. And it's very, very toxic to this little 8-year-old. And so she's having a hard time. She's in a lot of pain.
The hardest part of seeing my sister sick is knowing that I can't do anything to help her or make a difference, even though I wish I could.
To go back and forth to the hospital, especially since she's going a little more than they anticipated, it's a nightmare. I mean, thanks to Volunteers of America, we live very close to the hospital, but it's just terrible.
And I would be scared to think where this family would be right now if it wasn't for Volunteers of America Baton Rouge.
You know, we don't have anybody, and for them just to step up, I mean, I knew them for a while, but I don't want to say strangers, but they were just people, and now they are so much more to us, to all of us.
I'm sure Jason never thought that he would be sitting next to a hospital bed, nursing his baby back to health. But I'm also sure he never thought that he would have a family outside of those 3 girls. And I'm proud to say that we have become their family.